It's always been Ohio against the world.
That's the most I've ever seen him with his emotions open up. Not only for his kids, but for him.
If I'm a high school kid or if I'm looking to get into that transfer portal, I want to play for a guy that shows emotion like this.
Jeff Logan joining us.
I felt like he was talking for me as a former player. We're sick and tired of the accusation of not being tough.
It's the Kenny and JT Show, weekdays between 3 and 7 on WHBC.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
Well, good Wednesday morning, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook with you this morning. If you are with us on the radio, thank you very much. But also want to remind you, we are also live on Facebook right now and also on our YouTube channel. And to get there and subscribe, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of good stuff happening there. And it's on demand. You can go and listen to everything on our YouTube channel anytime you want to, including this interview. In case you don't have a chance to hear the whole thing or you're going to miss it, we'd love for you to be able to go back and listen to it anytime you want. And today, we welcome in with us the founder of Royal Docks Brewing Company, John Bikis, and we're gonna pick his brain a little bit about what's happening in the industry. But before we do any of that, first of all, we want to say welcome, John. Thanks for coming on today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Sure. I want you to give us a little bit of the background, the information about how this all came about for you in creating Royal Docks Brewery.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. I heard you say something earlier on the show that a lot of people do visit Royal Docks and they wonder where the docks are, right?
Yeah.
My wife and I, I'm actually a Canton native, went to Glen Oak, but my wife and I actually had the opportunity to live in London for a couple of years. And our first year in the city, we actually lived in the Royal Docks area of London. And if you've ever been to London, it's sort of east of central London, probably about half an hour tube ride into central London. And that's why we decided to call it Royal Docks. I am wearing a shirt with our logo on today. And the crane or crown logo is actually cranes that line up the docks. So if you get a chance and Google Royal Docks London, you'll see the cranes, a lot of pictures with the cranes that represent our logo. We decided to move back and someday open up a new brewery, and the ball just started rolling. Obviously, the craft beer trends in the U.S., if you want to call it the craft beer renaissance, was taking place. And obviously, a couple other breweries in the Canton area had opened, one being Royal Docks. We opened up with a fun party with Rusted Root in Jackson Township location, which we now call our original taproom and kitchen. So,
yeah. And if I would have realized, I would have practiced my Queen impersonation because I do a really good, but I have to practice. I'm not going to do it right now.
Myself. Yes. Since then, we've obviously opened up a production facility, which a lot of people know as the old skating rink in Jackson Township. The production facility, which you see behind me, is basically where everything happens. We produce all of our beer. We package all of our beer. Everything comes from this building. And then in the front of the building, we do have a really fun event venue. We host weddings. We host birthday parties, showers, memorials, fundraisers, anything like that. And most recently, we did open up our newest location, which is in Oakwood Square. And if you haven't been to Oakwood Square, you got to check it out. Actually, tomorrow is, I think, the third or fourth concert that's happening at the new amphitheater that's there. You got to check out Oakwood Square because there's a lot of great businesses there. It's up and coming. There's a Dora in that facility as well, so you can grab a drink, walk around, enjoy a concert. So,
yeah, I live not far from there, and it has just exploded with really, really cool stuff. And Royal Docks is one of them, and it is a great place to visit. When you opened Royal Docks, when you came back, that was in what year? What year was that?
So the idea and the social media of Royal Docks actually started in April of 2014, but we didn't open an actual facility until the following year, which was September 5th of 2015, which we just celebrated our eighth anniversary.
So And I know back then, you were one of the first. What was it like? I mean, people were still kind of getting used to it, dipping their toe in the craft beer, industry and kind of figuring out their way. What was that like when you first started?
Yeah, that's a good question. I come from a corporate world and career, so the craft beer industry was very unique and interesting to me. I think for Royal Docks, my experience in the UK, where it was more of a community living room versus a bar versus a restaurant, it was just a location, and I think that kind of oozed out of our experience there. And a lot of people that are in Stark County may have not had that experience or possibly had that experience while traveling for work or anything like that. So we were a little, and I still feel that we're a little unique to Stark County. Obviously, there were other breweries. We all have different paths, different histories, but we kind of stuck to that idea, and we continue to stick to it. Obviously, COVID happened, and we had a lot of great support from our patrons. Even on the first day of closures, there were people lining up to order food. We're not really a quote unquote traditional restaurant, so it's really cool to see that what we sort of built by mistake and just our experience really caught on. And as simple as lining up at the bar to order a drink. It's just what we did in the UK and what we try to bring here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when Stark County people come to get themselves something at Royal Docks, what do they seem to like? What do they seem to prefer?
Yeah, so there's two styles of brewing in the brewing world. There's a German and a British style. Dave Satula, our brewmaster, who's been brewing for about 35 years now, is an Anglophile. So we kind of clicked in regards to he understood what we were trying to convey with the British style, and we stuck to more traditional beers. We do have some kind of funky beers, maybe off the wall IPAs, but that's really not our forte. We just really have stuck to clean, drinkable beers. If you're coming into our tap room, I would say that right now, Backyard Crusher, which is a sort of summer seasonal, it's actually going to become a year-round offering because it becomes such a popular beer, which is Backyard Crusher. It's a light beer. If you're looking for something fairly light, you're probably grabbing a Northeast Lager. We do have a Imperial Stout, and the Imperial Stout's about 14%. It's put us on the map. I know a lot of times people will say, "Hey, I know a beer from Canton, Ohio called Vlad," and I say, "Yeah, that's actually a Royal Docks beer." So a lot of people will actually know that beer just by Vlad and not really Royal Docks. So we've got a variety of beer. We're actually really pushing the excitement of a fruit beer. We'll call it a Midwest Fruit Tart. Cherries out of Niles, Illinois. Actually, my father-in-law drives those to Ohio every time we do a batch, and it's a nice dark cherry tart.
Wow. Okay, so I'll admit Vlad is one of my favorites. I'm a dark beer person. People think that's kind of funny, considering I'm female, and most you'd think I'd want the tarts, right? The cherry tart, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that and Vlad I've had in, but I don't know what you call it. The growler.
Oh, okay, growlers.
Yeah. And I've always loved that beer. But when it comes to deciding what is something that you're going to do, how do you make that choice? You were saying you stuck to the clean kinds of, not the crazy things, with the weird names or anything like that. But how do you make that choice?
Good question. So I think the environment definitely changed. The consumer has changed. Just as simple as the consumer that comes into the tap room, but also the consumer that's just like everyone else grabbing beer off the shelf. So we look at trends. We also look at new technologies. For example, our team was at the largest conference, craft beer conference in the country a couple of months ago, and they brought back some hop oils, which is ultimately a new technology of extracting the oil. So we try to use some of that technology or product that is out on the market. But we just look at trends. Obviously, we do have some fun with some beers, but we've sort of stuck to our core products. And I think our portfolio at one time used to be about 50 beers a year, has contracted to the ones that really work for us and the ones that the consumers are looking for.
All right, we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, I want to talk about your staff. and your brewmaster and how that all works and what the process is like. And we'll continue spotlighting Royal Docks Brewing Company with John Bikis. And again, we are live on Facebook. We are live on our YouTube channel right now. So make sure you check us out on this Spotlight on Wednesday morning on 1480 WHBC.
Royal Docks Brewing Company, where American craft beer meets British pub culture. It all started when a couple Cantonians flew across the pond, landed in London, and fell in love with the vibrant English pubs and the community that surrounded them. They brought the fine flavors and fellowship back to Ohio and created the Royal Docks Brewing Company, where it's more than just brewing beer. It's a philosophy. Think global, be vocal, drink local. Royal Docks Brewing Company. For locations, menu, various beers, and happenings, go to docks.beer for more. Royal Docks Brewing Company. Mind the tap. Live music hits the Oakwood Square Amphitheater stage this Thursday as AM Gold, a New York City-based tribute band, plays the hits from 1970s and 80s, including Hall & Oates, Steely Dan, Huey Lewis, Lionel Richie, and more. Enjoy a pre-concert dinner at one of Oakwood Square's great restaurants: The Bistro, Bugsy's, Talake Pake, Royal Docks, The Bourbon Room, and John's Bar. Oakwood Square is a designated outdoor refreshment area, so enjoy adult beverages while watching the concert. Live music this Thursday evening at Oakwood Square.
Get behind the wheel of your ride that you deserve with fantastic savings at Friends and Family Credit Union. How low can we go? How about as low as 5.99% APR up to 60 months to put you in the driver's seat of your favorite ride? As low as 5.99% APR up to 60 months. This is an absolutely limited time offer. All rates and promotions are subject to change without notice. This institution is privately insured by ASI up to $250,000 per account. It's time to bring a friend into the family.
At Andrews Furniture in Sugar Creek, creating homes that celebrate family life is what we're all about. This month, we're pleased to announce one of our most popular sales of the year. All Smith Brothers upholstered and leather furniture has been reduced an additional 10%. Smith Brothers furniture is handcrafted in America, assuring you of quality construction and superb styling. Choose from Andrews stock for immediate delivery, or let Smith Brothers custom tailor an upholstered sofa, chair, or reclining sofa for you. For those who want style, comfort, and durability, Row Furniture stands up to the busiest lifestyles. Enjoy an additional 10% off all Row sectionals, designed to be a treasured part of your home for years to come. There's always something new and exciting to discover at Andrews. And remember, delivery is always free. No wonder people from all over Ohio travel to Andrews, your home furnishings destination in Sugar Creek for 75 years.
Crown keeps you warm and we keep you cool.
We're here for you day or night.
The best time to be alive in Northeast Ohio just might be right now. Call it late summer or early fall. It's the time of year when the sun is still warm on your back during the day, but the nights are delightfully cool, when the leaves are giving just a hint of their glory to come. It's also the time of year when your furnace is the furthest thing from your mind. But that's exactly what you should be thinking about. When winter arrives, will your furnace be up to the challenge? You can be sure with a quick call to Crown Heating and Cooling. And if you have an older, less efficient heating system, now is the perfect time to call Crown and find out how affordable a new Carrier system can be. A Carrier system is the best way to keep comfortable, both winter and summer. And you'll love the utility savings. Turn to the Carrier experts at Crown Heating and Cooling. At Crown, estimates are always free. Call today and let them show you how much you can save when you turn to the Carrier experts at Crown. Call 330-499-4988 or visit them on the web at crowngroupohio.com. Ohio license number 27133.
Call Crown Heating and Cooling. You'll be sure you have the best Crown.
At Ortho United, orthopedic care is more than medicine. It's where local, world-class orthopedic specialists come together in a commitment to offer accessible orthopedic solutions in the communities we live. The skilled orthopedic experts at Ortho United offer the latest advancements in cutting-edge technology and care. Local providers, helping each and every patient take their first step to orthopedic health. Learn more at orthounitedohio.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
If you order food for work, you know the drill. It's a whole bunch of needs and requests piled on top of each other. Make sure the food's on time and on budget. Make sure everyone's dietary needs are taken care of. Make sure everyone's happy. And that's why you should make sure you use ezCater. It's one simple, reliable platform for all your food for work needs. Need to make sure food for work actually works? Simple. Make sure it's ezCater. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at ezcater.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And on this Wednesday morning, good morning, everyone. I'm Pam Cook, and we are having a great time talking about Royal Docks Brewing Company this morning. And John Bikis, the founder of Royal Docks Brewing Company, is with us. And, you know, John, we need to talk about the process. And, of course, the brewmaster who starts the process and is part of your staff. But how many people does it take to make a good beer?
Well, a home brewing, one person. Usually, there's a couple of guys and gals together, maybe drinking beer in the garage while brewing beer. It's a lot of times how people get started. But in our example, there's 4 or 5 individuals that work in the brew house. Obviously, Dave Sutula, who's our brewmaster, has been with us since the beginning. Has great history working at some of the greatest breweries in Northeast Ohio. He is our brewmaster. A lot of the recipes or formulations are put together by him. But in addition to that, Zane, who is our lead brewer in the brewing facility, does a lot of the work. It's his beers that we're drinking these days. So. And then from there, once the liquid is done, it then goes into the shiny tanks that sit there. And then we have cellarwomen that ultimately make sure that the beer within the next 30, 45, 65 days, it's ready to drink. And then once that happens, we package the beer. So at that time, we either take it to kegs that you're drinking at restaurants all over Ohio, or ultimately into packaging, which we can. We do have our own facility where we do can our own beer, which makes it to our distributor, and then to find restaurants such as Bueller's, Acme's, Fisher Foods, Giant Eagle, and a lot of other locations throughout Ohio.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not just a Stark County thing, and there are people who come from outside of Stark County to get your beer, correct?
Correct. Yeah. We have a distributor. I wish we could get to all the stores throughout Ohio, but we don't. So a lot of times people will drive in for certain releases that we have. I know we've got a couple of great releases coming up. One would be Yuletide, our Christmas beer. Pumpkin Slayer, when we release that, we're actually almost all out at the tap rooms. It just won a Great American Beer Festival medal at the Great American Beer Festival this Saturday. So people were in the tap room yesterday looking for it. We're always kind of keeping tabs on which stores have it, so they can hopefully not have to drive all the way to Canton, but some do. I know one that we're really excited about that's coming down the line is Deathly Mallows, which a lot of people search for it. So that will also be available later on this year. But it's always exciting to see people looking or seeking out our beers.
Yeah. And let's go back and talk about the awards, because I did read about that, and you guys did very, very well.
Yeah, so the Great American Beer Festival happens once a year. It's kind of like the Oscars of craft beer. We've actually, as Royal Docks, have won 2 different medals. We won a medal a couple years ago for our Pendragon beer. What's really unique about that beer, it's all spices, native to the UK, one being heather tip. So there's no hops in that. We use heather tip to provide that bitterness, where usually you would use hops for that. So it's a very unique beer. It is on tap right now. You can get it in stores too. That actually won, like I said, a gold medal a couple of years ago. And most recently, as this past Saturday, we did win a medal. What's really cool right now is that Ohio basically grabbed 19 medals, which is a record for the state. The Great American Beer Festival, as I said, is a really cool event. And it is the Oscar when it comes to craft beer and the brewers that make the liquids. So yeah, it's really special.
Yeah, and when one wins, you all win, because that makes people want to gravitate and kind of investigate everybody, right?
Yeah. So the Ohio Craft Brewers Association is a really cool association, and I'm going to say that there's 2 great individuals, Mary and Justin, there that have really pulled for craft beer in the state of Ohio, and not just on a marketing side, but also really advocating for craft beer in the state of Ohio. We employ a lot of people. I don't have numbers in front of me, but there's a lot of money that craft breweries bring into the state. A lot of breweries revive certain areas of certain towns that have been left alone for decades. Even the building behind us, it was empty for 15 years. So it's kind of it's cool to see what craft beer has done to Ohio, and to many communities throughout the U.S.
And how many different kinds of beer do you have? How many different versions?
So, at any given location, we have about 12 to 14 taps. May it be our regular original tap room in Jackson Township, our brew house that's behind me right now. And then our fooder house, which is located in Plain Township, there's usually 12 to 14 beers on tap. Our rotation, if you're going into the grocery store, is usually about 7 beers on the shelf. Such as Buehler's. Buehler's throughout Northeast Ohio will ultimately have all of our beers. So we'll kind of rotate. There might be beers such as Northeast Lager or EF1 IPA or Backyard Crusher that are year-round, but then we also do some seasonals such as Pumpkin Slayer, Pendragon, Yuletide, which is coming out. So at any given time, you're probably around that 12 to 14 different flavors.
And it takes how long to make a batch?
Yeah, so it really depends on the style of the beer. It can take anywhere from 45 to sometimes a couple of months. If you're really lagering a beer, such as Northeast Lager, it takes a little bit longer to really make sure that beer is nice, clean, and crisp. If you're looking for darker beers, those are usually a little quicker to turn around. We do barrel age some of our beers. We will have a barrel aged product of Vlad, which is actually sat in some bourbon barrels for a couple of years. So it all depends on what you're trying to really do with the beer. But for us, from morning when we crush the grain that we call barley to ultimately when that liquid goes to the tank, it usually takes about 8 hours, something like that. And then from there, you've got the fermentation process, the lagering process, whatever may actually go behind whatever specific beer you're brewing.
All the magic that happens.
There's a lot of magic. There's a lot of science. We actually have a lab, and a lot of people that take our brewery tour are always impressed by the fact that we do have a lab. There's a lot of science that goes along with the art.
And we'll talk about the tours. We'll talk about events that you have coming up, and we'll do all of that. We'll take our break for the news right now and come back and talk more about Royal Docks Brewing with Don Bikis. Stay tuned to Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC.
We're celebrating 30 years of happy feet at Bob & Pete's Floors. Thanks for choosing us for the highest quality and service in the industry. Through continued upgrades and innovation, we're committed to meeting your every project need for years to come. Visit Bob & Pete's Floors to bring your next project to life today.
Royal Docks Brewing Company, where American craft beer meets British pub culture. It all started when a couple Cantonians flew across the pond, landed in London, and fell in love with the vibrant English pubs and the community that surrounded them. They brought the fine flavors and fellowship back to Ohio and created the Royal Docks Brewing Company, where it's more than just brewing beer. It's a philosophy. Think global, be vocal, drink local. Royal Docks Brewing Company. For locations, menu, various beers, and happenings, go to docks.beer for more. Royal Docks Brewing Company. Mind the tap.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
Tune in each Saturday at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show, now expanded to an hour long. Hosts Bob Foudy and David Ryan help you make your money matter. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. Tune into the new hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Foudy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Thinking about purchasing a reverse osmosis drinking water system for your home? Call Verndale Water Experts today and schedule a free consultation with one of our experts. Verndale Water Experts, the people you can trust to give your family the purest water possible.
Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, Whole Foods Market and Costco are voluntarily recalling organic chicken and beef broth products due to potential contamination. The Costco recall involves organic chicken bone broth. The products may have the potential for microbial contamination due to a lack of sterility assurance. It's not a health or safety concern right now, but the recalled broths may spoil prematurely. They were sold from July of 2022 through September 21st of this year. Former President Donald Trump was dealt a huge blow by Judge Arthur Engoron yesterday when he ruled that Trump and his company repeatedly violated New York state fraud laws. The judge agreed with the New York Attorney General's office and their claims that it's beyond dispute that Trump and his company misrepresented his wealth by as much as $3.6 billion. The judge also ordered in his ruling that Trump's business certificates be canceled, effectively dissolving the Trump organization. Trump's team says it will immediately appeal that ruling. Tonight is the second Republican presidential candidates debate. It starts at 9 o'clock on the Fox Business Network. The setting for the second GOP debate is Ronald Reagan's Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California. Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson, who spent his entire 23-year baseball career playing for the Baltimore Orioles, has died of an undisclosed illness. His family announced yesterday he was 86 years old. Cleveland Guardians lost to the Reds last night 11-7. Tonight, the final home game for the Guardians. Also, the final home game for Terry Francona as manager of the Guardians. Kenny and JT will broadcast live from the ballpark starting at 3 o'clock. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clouds, couple of showers, thunderstorm around for this afternoon. High today up to 71. Clouds and some rain tonight with a low 55. Cloudy showers tomorrow, the high 69. And then tomorrow night, clouds and a passing shower, low 57. Partly sunny on Friday. A shower in spots for the day. Look for a high on Friday afternoon at 73. Plan with confidence. Check AccuWeather.com. Download the app today. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, it is a Wednesday morning, and that means Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC. And I hope you're having a chance to check us out on our YouTube page. Go there, subscribe, and on demand, you can watch everything that we have posted there. We're live on Facebook right now as well. And we've been talking about Royal Docks Brewing Company with the founder, John Bikis, and having a lot of fun discussing all of the ways that you get your beer at Royal Docks Brewing Company. And It's an interesting story, John, how it all came to be, which the story, by the way, is on your website. If folks want to go and check out your website, there's a lot of great information there. Talks about your menus and your beers. And so folks can do that. It's a pretty cool place to go and visit. I really like looking around there, but I want you to tell us a little bit about the events that you have coming up, because, it's there. You guys you're busy. You're busy.
Yeah, well, we try to have a lot of fun. It's not always easy, and it's not always planned. But yeah, we basically have three styles of events at Royal Docks. We have Royal Docks happenings, which is basically events that Royal Docks puts on. We have obviously community events, and one event that I'm really excited about that we started about 3-4 months ago is a Monday Fund Day. It allows a local community organization, maybe nonprofits, sports teams, or anything like that, to take over our tap rooms and raise money. So we've done some great events with a couple of local teams, nonprofits, such as most recently Another Act of Kindness. And it allows the organizers to ultimately raise funds. We donate back 15% to that organization. So it's been great. I know our staff enjoys it. It keeps us busy on a Monday. We also have events that are hosted right behind us here. We do quite a bit of private events. You have a private event space at the Brew House that hosts anywhere from 150 to 200 people. We've got some really cool events coming up. Casino night that will happen soon. And then some other smaller spaces such as our Fooder House that will host about a 50-person party. And then we have a lot of community events so that we always have fun. I know one's coming up, which is the Jackson Township Oktoberfest, the New Berlin Oktoberfest, our newest addition to the family, which is the Royal Docks globally inspired street food truck, will be present at both of those locations. So Dave Satula and I actually ventured out to Washington, D.C. and drove that beast back to Canton, Ohio. It was an adventure, but yeah, so that's our newest addition to the Royal Docks family or portfolio, if you want to call it that. So yeah, check it out at those two great events. Like I said, the Jackson Township Amphitheater is hosting the Jackson Township Oktoberfest on Saturday, so we're really excited because I think for the community, as far as our backyard, that will be the first time that they'll get to see the full menu. It is a German-inspired menu, so it should be great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And there you go. That's a trend these days. Food trucks, that's part of the trends. What kind of trends are you seeing, in the craft brewing business?
Yeah, so I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. Obviously, you're seeing a little bit of a change in what the consumer is looking for as far as beer, what the consumer is looking for as far as just experiences in walking to our tap rooms. I think after COVID, we certainly missed that social aspect, which we're seeing a lot of people enjoy more. Obviously, fine dining is still there, but it's probably not what it used to be before COVID. So we are seeing a little bit of that. As far as the industry, as craft beer, we're seeing quite a bit of breweries contract or close. Even locally here, I think we've seen 3 or 4 close. It's not easy. So we may make it look easy, but it's not easy. It's always a battle. It's always trying to get through the next week. If it's not staffing issues, it's supplies issues. There's always something going on. So trends are definitely changing. Even the way that the consumer quote unquote shops. We do see that ticket totals are probably a little smaller. People do tend to not stay out as long as they used to. I always look back at the heyday of Saturdays when it used to be just a shoulder to shoulder packed in our tap rooms. And I think you're seeing that a lot across the country, not just in the craft beer world, but just in the restaurant or service industry.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, when you take us back to London for a minute, and when you walked into the places there and you looked around, you experienced that, what did you see there that made you say this could work in the US?
It wasn't really the craft beer. I think the craft beer, a true craft beer that I had wasn't really until a brewery called Brew by the Numbers, which is in the Bermondsey area of London. Like I said, we lived one full year. We rented an apartment in the Royal Docks. And then once we got to really kind of enjoy London, we then moved into central London in the Bermondsey area. And at that time, I became friends and really started to take a liking to a brewery called Brew by the Numbers. And what was really cool about this brewery, it was just a small space with a garage door. And on the weekends, they would just raise up the garage door, and there was really no seating. It was just pallets. And it was ultimately just a fun experience of people really getting together. Yes, it was happening over a craft beer, but it was more of the social aspect that I still enjoy as far as what happens in our tap rooms. On any given day, maybe Monday at 4 p.m. or a Saturday evening, you'll see that it really is a true gathering. I always have fun with it, and until I had kids, I didn't really understand. But we do have two little kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. But on a Friday night, our happy hour is ultimately full of young parents and kids running around the tap room. And that's what really makes Royal Docks, because it's a comfortable place to just enjoy. May not be for everyone, but it is Royal Docks, and I think there's certainly people of all ages that really enjoy. I know that in an interview with About magazine, probably at our beginning, there was a question that came up and said, how do you judge success? And I don't know where this came from, but I said, you know what? I'm looking right across the tap room and I see a first date. What I thought was a first date, and it was. And then I think I said something like, I'd love to see a first date. I'd love to see a proposal. I'd love to see a wedding. And that really happened within like 3 months of us opening back in 2015. And that was great, because it's, people really felt comfortable and made friends at the tap rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. So what has been your, I don't even know really how to phrase this, but your life's work, has this always been something you've done or wanted to do, or, what was your...
No. I graduated from Glen Oak, went to Ohio State, came out with an international business degree, didn't really know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I was hired by a local company called Diomed. They were off of 62, and I was selling medical equipment. I was there for about a year and a half. I was let go, and then had this opportunity that basically came about working for a great company for about 11 years. I still talk about the company because it really made me the individual I am as far as a career. I had a great opportunity to work in Canada for about 6 years. The company sold at that time, and then recently married. My wife and I decided that, hey, we were going to take on this new venture. The company sold to an international company called Walters Calora, and I started selling in the UK, covering 9 different countries. A lot of people may know the local company here in Hudson, Ohio, called LexiComp, and some people know the products that they sell called Up to Date, which is a medical software product. So it's always cool to look back at what we did. Sometimes I wish life would have taken different routes, but we choose the route, and this is what we do these days. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I wondered, because obviously then you had to find someone who was the scientist, right? And someone that was going to come in and be the person that was going to facilitate some of this for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's a fun story too. We'll have to do over a Vlad, but Dave Satula and I met at Winking Lizard in Jackson Township after he had been let go at Canton Brewing Company, and that was a loss for Canton Brewing Company and a win for Royal Docks. Dave, like I said, is a brewmaster. I call him an artist. I think a lot of brewers out there are considered artists. A lot of times they just get together and sort of jam out and make great beer. And Dave puts on a lot of hats. We appreciate him. I think all of our staff, we're not huge as far as the brewery itself. We all carry many hats on any given day.
And what about the food? Because the food pairs so well with what you what you offer on the menu as far as the beer goes.
Sure. So I'll talk a little bit about the Fooder House, because I think we were actually supposed to open St. Patty's Day on 2020, and we all know what March 15th looked like on 2020. So it's been a little bit of a challenge kind of figuring out what Plain Township, what Oakwood Square was really becoming. But I think we're really excited about Chef Mike there at the moment. He's fairly new with us, but he's doing some great stuff. So if you've given Royal Docks a chance, or you visited the Fooder House at Oakwood Square in the past and it wasn't really your cup of tea, please give it a try again, because I think we're really cranking out some great things there. They are unique. I feel like we wanted to just kind of differentiate ourselves from other offerings in the Canton or Stark County space. There's some great restaurants in Stark County. There's some great restaurants at Oakwood Square, but we just try to be a little bit unique. And then ultimately our original location, which I never wanted to have anything to do with the kitchen. I didn't want to own a restaurant. I just wanted to own a brewery and drink beer and sit on a pallets in front of a garage door, which is what inspired us. But very quickly I found out that was probably the wrong decision. So our kitchen at the tap room is ultimately just ovens. So everything that comes out, we actually don't even have fryers there. Everything is baked. So we've become sort of locally famous for our flatbreads. It's always fun to see DoorDash come up for just a simple $8-9 flatbread, because someone's really craving it. But it's more shareable. We do always try to make sure that people do understand we're not just a brewery. We do have liquor, we do have wine, we do have cocktails. And Michaela does a really good job with cocktails at the Fooder House. She puts on a monthly cocktail event. There's actually one coming up. You can check out our website and grab tickets. It's a Halloween inspired event, but we've done margarita, we've done sangria classes, we've done bourbon classes. So we do some fun stuff that's not really just beer oriented. We partner up with some really cool distilleries, such as High Bank out of Columbus, Ohio. Even though they're from Columbus, Ohio, the owner and distiller is actually Jackson, born and raised. So Adam. So we do some fun stuff with the craft itself.
Yeah, that's great. And that I think the first time I ever walked into the original place, I didn't know. It was like, this is a new experience, but that was part of the fun of it, and you just walked in and sat down and figured it all out, and it was just the coolest thing ever. And I think that, like I said, that is part of the fun experience. So and that is the thing. You hit the nail on the head when you said about the pallets and the garage door. It is about the experience, and that's what people, that's what people want these days. They want the experience to go along with it. They can go get a beer and food anywhere, right?
Yeah, right. And ultimately the way we spend our hard-earned dollars these days with everything being the way it is, we really look for service, which I think our service team is certainly a core team that has done great. A lot of people have been with us since pre-COVID, stuck with us during COVID, and are here to really kind of take us to the next step.
All right, we'll take our final break, and then we'll come back and recap all that we've been discussing this hour. And again, Royal Docks Brewing Company, check out their website, see all the events they have coming up, their beers, their menus, their locations. It's all there at their website. And we'll talk more with John Bikis coming up on Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC.
High school sports. This is the right place. News Talk 1480, WHBC.
Why is an annual flu shot important? Each year, the flu is responsible for more than 200,000 hospitalizations in the U.S. alone. And the CDC estimates that up to 14,000 deaths were caused by the flu last season. Protect yourself and your loved ones with a convenient, quick, safe vaccination at Discount Drug Mart. Drug Mart takes walk-ins, no appointment necessary, and most insurance plans are accepted with zero copay for Medicare, Medicaid, and most private plans. Discount Drug Mart is your immunization destination.
Live music hits the Oakwood Square Amphitheater stage this Thursday as AM Gold, a New York City-based tribute band, plays the hits from 1970s and 80s, including Hall & Oates, Steely Dan, Huey Lewis, Lionel Richie, and more. Enjoy a pre-concert dinner at one of Oakwood Square's great restaurants: The Bistro, Bugsy's, Talake Pake, Royal Docks, The Bourbon Room, and John's Bar. Oakwood Square is a designated outdoor refreshment area, so enjoy adult beverages while watching the concert. Live music this Thursday evening at Oakwood Square.
This is your Money Minute. I'm Steve Siddall. Joining me today is Robert Hall, founder and president of Affinity Advisory Network. Robert, how can tax planning help protect your retirement savings?
Early tax planning with your CPA or accountant can really make huge returns when it comes to your retirement planning, because especially things like Roth IRAs, when you're younger and you have new money coming in, you can maybe afford to do the conversion and pay the taxes. Roths give you the opportunity to retire and take tax-free money during retirement to live out those golden years.
That sounds great. Folks, if you'd like to have that conversation with Robert and the team, give us a call, 877-841-1963. That's 877-841-1963, the year the Canton Football Hall of Fame opened.
Robert Hall is a licensed insurance agent. Affinity Advisory Network, LLC is a financial services firm helping clients prepare for retirement through the use of insurance and investment products and services. Investment advisory services are offered through appropriately licensed registered investment advisor representatives of its affiliate, AAN Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Royal Docks Brewing Company, where American craft beer meets British pub culture. It all started when a couple Cantonians flew across the pond, landed in London, and fell in love with the vibrant English pubs and the community that surrounded them. They brought the fine flavors and fellowship back to Ohio and created the Royal Docks Brewing Company, where it's more than just brewing beer. It's a philosophy. Think global, be vocal, drink local. Royal Docks Brewing Company. For locations, menu, various beers, and happenings, go to docks.beer for more. Royal Docks Brewing Company. Mind the tap.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long. Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect. And now try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase, but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. And right now you can save $375 off every window and $750 off every door. Just text HOT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Text HOT to 200-300 right now to save $375 off every window and $750 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings won't last long. Text HOT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text the word HOT to 200-300. Text HOT to 200-300.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, this is our final segment on this Wednesday morning for Spotlight and Royal Docks Brewing Company. This has been such a fun discussion, and we have had with us, and still do, John Bikis, who is the founder of Royal Docks. And we've been talking all about the wonderful offerings that they have at Royal Docks. You know, John, we forgot to mention about the tours. If somebody wants to take a peek behind the scenes, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so we do tours two different ways. You could always reach out to us for a private tour. We can schedule that on certain specific days that work for both parties. We also do tours once a month. They're fun to do as the weather gets a little colder. We do those on Saturdays. I can't remember if it's the first or the last Saturday of the month, but check out our website. A lot of times it's myself or Dave Satula, our brewmaster. Sometimes you get lucky and it's quite fun. We both do them, and they start at noon. You do get to drink out of the tanks, get beers at the brew house, and then ultimately get a token that takes you across the street, so you can get some flights there or additional beer, have lunch. A lot of times those tours, we tell you that they last an hour, but sometimes we look at the clock and it's 2 hours because we're just having a great time. Usually we try to keep those anywhere between 15 to 20, sometimes 25 people. They're as fun as people make them. Like I said, it's just time goes really quick on those tours. So
yeah, I think that's great. And that's cool because to see behind the scenes and how it all works, and not to mention to get it from you guys, I think would be really awesome, especially if it was the two of you together. That would be great. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say it's great. Like I said, a lot of people don't really know what happens, in the old skating rink. And it's always great to hear, hey, I used to skate here. Hey, I got my first kiss here, like things like that. So definitely join a tour.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what are the locations again? Give us the 3 locations again.
So our original location is located at 7162 Fulton Drive. If you know where Bueller's is, we're in that plaza, and we've been there for 8 years. Our second location is the Brew House and Cannery, which is the old Foxborough skating rink just down the street in Jackson Township. That's where we actually produce all the beer. We do have a large venue there. If you're trying to book any special events such as a wedding, a shower, a birthday party, a corporate event, we do a great job. We have some really good, great staff that is part of our team that will help you kind of plan your event. And our newest location, well, I shouldn't say newest, I should say Oakwood Square Fooder House, which is a pretty unique experience too. If you're looking for a little bit higher end dining experience, or you're looking for a little bit more cocktail experience, Fooder House is great. Like I said, there's an amphitheater there. On Saturday, there's the Street Side Market, which is put together by 720 Market. Lynn and Dave Shimko do a great job with that. So there's a lot to do in that plaza. There's a Dora Cup, and our newest part of the family, which is that food truck. So now you get to experience the Royal Docks globally inspired food. I was actually born in Romania. There are meats on that menu. So with our travel, we try to do something a little bit different with that food truck. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I got 2 calls this weekend, and I usually take calls from the brew house on the weekends. They get forwarded to my cell phone. One was someone saying that they were at Boss Chicken up in Cleveland, and they had Pumpkin Slayer, and it was the greatest beer that they've ever had. And so we had just found out that it won a medal at the Great American Beer Festival. And then a really cool second call that we got, the food truck was actually at the Jackson Ball Fields this weekend for a tournament, and had called and said that it was the best street food or the best food truck food that he's ever had. I don't remember his name, but I really appreciate it because that was just really cool, because again, we're trying to do something different with the food truck, and it was a great call to answer.
I love that you throw in you were born in Romania right at the end of all of this.
A lot of people don't know that, but again, they see the meat, which is a Romanian specialty, street food specialty. It's a skinless sausage, and they see it on the menu, and they're always kind of like, what is that, and why is that on the menu? So we try to make sure that people know why it's on the menu.
There you go. And Doc Stop Beer, that's the website for folks to visit. I'm so glad you came on today. This was great, and everybody got a little peek inside of Royal Docks, and we'll have a chance to visit. And this is a great time of year to get over and try out your favorite beer and just have some fun and enjoy the experience. Thank you, John, so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks to our community for making Royal Docks great.
Friends, this is Congressman Bill Johnson. I'm answering some questions from the people I represent.
Congressman Johnson, I'm a veteran.